Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Talk This Way podcast. I am your host, Matt Bishop. And joining me today, all the way from out west, Vegas, right? Are we in Vegas now?
We're in scorching Las Vegas.
Scorching Las Vegas. Yeah, we were just talking about that before we jumped on the air. We got Peter Summit and Stacey Blades from Crashing Wayward. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
So other than the scorching heat out there, how is life treating you guys? What's going on?
Very good. We just did our album release party event June 28th here in Las Vegas at the amazing new venue here in town, Matt, called Industrial Sound. And we were blessed to have done the event there. We did this little thing with Shinedown that did a private acoustic radio party, so that was tied in with our event. And we had a couple of amazing artists that we brought in as well, one of them being Pete's brother, so I'll let Pete talk a little bit about that.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it was really kind of like a more immersive, outside the box than your typical kind of rock show, which is, I think, kind of important for us because I feel we are more a little bit more outside the box within our genre of hard rock and stuff. And there's a lot of conceptual kind of ideas within, this band. And my brother, who's a world famous graffiti street artist, he's done skyscrapers in Korea, all over the world. He came in and created some imagery for us, brought in his good friend, Mike Giant, who created a super limited print for the show, new merch. So it was kind of just a taste of a real big, either really large theater or small arena show for us. So it was kind of a really cool experience, kind of switch it up here in the smaller clubs that we've been playing.
The 30-foot video wall didn't hurt as well.
I think it was 50, Stacey. I think it was a 50-foot video wall.
You're like, God.
Oh, don't shortchange it now. 50 feet. There we go.
Yeah, that was amazing. We had all these really cool images, Matt, of just really trippy stuff. So that was really cool to have that for the first time with this band, as opposed to just our backdrop. So it was a great night.
It's got to be like, I imagine when you're writing this album, you're recording and everything, and it's just all kind of going through your mind, you have so many visuals, and then to get to actually, bring them to life, like you did, like on a screen or like an immersive experience, whatever it is, that's just got to be so fulfilling to you guys as creatives.
Yeah, absolutely. And the team there at the Industrial Sound, these guys are like legit. These guys are working with Justin Timberlake on, doing tours with him. They did Saturday Night Live, so we're having that lighting crew and those sound guys who've just, fully professional, amazing crew. And I think they're totally behind it. So we're hoping to really kind of continue working with them down the road and doing more shows or events, with that crew and that team.
What's the name of the company? When you said Justin Timberlake, I feel like I've seen some of their stuff, on Instagram and whatnot.
Yeah, it's the Industrial Sound is the event. So it's also the industrial event space. But the team within that event space and the owners and the crew there all have worked with Justin Timberlake.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they're kind of like their whole intention and purpose right now is to get off the road and work with some local acts and really kind of launch them. And so we were the first rock band to play there. So
we
were the test.
Yeah. We were the Crash Test Dummies, right?
There you go.
Stacey's favorite song of all time.
Didn't crash though. Sounds like it went really well.
We crashed Wayward, yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nailed it. He said it. Oh man. Well, I'm still kind of hung up on this art print because I'm a huge poster nerd. I got like 3 portfolios in my room here. I got like 800 of these things. My girlfriend's like, get these out of here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Oh,
one's
he's
I
got
got one here.
Look
yeah.
at that. That is
Yeah, so
sweet.
it's everything. You got Vegas, and Mike Giant is an icon. He's like world class
Wow.
street artist, tattoo artist. He's done work with Travis Barker, Yellow Wolf, stuff like that. So to have him come in and be there in person and sell these prints, create a print for us, it was huge.
That's so cool. It is incredible what the gig poster has become like the last like 3-4 years. I mean, I go to shows, to photograph, and merch lines starting in the afternoon, and you get in 5 minutes, the posters are gone.
Right.
It's insane. People just love that art. And I think it's why we're seeing like this whole renaissance of like the gig posters and vinyl. Like people
Yeah.
miss having something to look at. They want a visual, and people just crave it. And that's why it's so cool with what you guys are doing with this whole like immersive experience. And I was just at Avenged Sevenfold last night, the first show of their tour right now. They have been doing like so much interactive stuff with their new album release. It's like, it's a great trend that I can really get behind. It gives the fans so much to digest. It's so neat.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. Totally agree with that. So yeah, we're so much more than that, So I, really kind of, I love creating the product as well too. I love working and like putting, developing some imagery and getting it on the best merchandise that we can get, not just like, one-stop shop, cheap t-shirt, one print, that's it.
One and done.
Yeah. Everything, whatever we can put it on with that is nice. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
know what's funny, Matt?
Go
I
ahead.
just to add, well,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
more we've been doing this, we've seen our sales go up a lot too when we play. So I think it goes back to what you're saying, that you know I think a lot of people for a while they just would like have two t-shirts and a photo and that was it. And since we were like kind of taking it back to like where bands would have like 5 different styles of t-shirts, you had the tour program, you had posters and all that stuff. So we kind of have been giving the fans options of really cool stuff. So yeah, it's been a nice change for us doing that.
Yeah, and I see it all the time, like on social media and stuff. People will go to shows purely for the merch. They might not they might not be the biggest fan of the artist, or they might not even ever heard the artist, but they see that, oh, this print artist did the poster. I love that guy. I'm going to go to the show and get the poster. And then you go to a show and it's like, hey, this band's pretty cool. Let's go back to the merch booth and get the vinyl, go home, stream it. And it's this whole big, cycle. I'm all for it. I'm here for it all.
Yeah.
Cool. Absolutely.
So let's get down to the inspiration for all this creativity, this record. I'm listening to this record. I really dig it. It's a great album. It is not your stereotypical, melodic rock, 3 chords, let's get it on the radio kind of a thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If that's your formula, cool. There's a lot of riffage in this record. And it reminded me of like the Cult a little bit. Like it's trying to be metal, but there's not quite enough distortion. And it's just these never ending riffs, some cool time signatures. And it's a breath of fresh air. I'm digging it.
Thank you, Matt. We started this band. It's like, well, what kind of band do we want to be? It kind of came together right before the pandemic, and we have 5 different guys with 5 different influences in this band. So that was really cool because we have 4 very strong songwriters in this band as well. So it was like we took all of our influences and kind of just put it in the Ninja blender and just let it rip. And so you have a lot of very unique, in as far as the writing goes, it's very unique. We don't sound like a lot of the other newer bands, but we have a modern sound, but there's a lot of different really cool elements. Like you'll hear, maybe like a little bit of the Killers, and that kind of comes from Pete and I's love of early '80s new wave. There's a little bit of Foo Fighters and Soundgarden and STP, and those are just natural influences from everybody in the band. But from a guitar standpoint too, this makes it interesting too as well, Matt. David Harris and David, the other guitar player, David plays in a lot of alternate tunings. So it really makes those riffs stand out. And then you blend that with my regular tuning or drop D tuning, and you get this very unique layer that has its own sound. And I think Pete's voice is definitely a standout as well, and his craft of melodic ideas and stuff that he brings in with his lyrics are amazing as well. And then our producer Mike Gillies, who was Metallica studio engineer for 26 years, he just took everything and he was a big reason why that record sounds as great as it does, especially production wise.
When you're working with a guy like that, is that kind of like a captain steering the ship a little bit? You guys have some stuff and all right, now here it is, and he's like, hang on, we're gonna do it this way.
Yeah. I'm like, I would have never thought of that. So yeah, we were like, okay, Mike, what do you like? You tell us, like, and he would just turn everything kind of upside down. I mean, the first single, "Breathe," was a song that Carl, our bass player, brought in that was 10 years, that he'd been sitting on for 10 years, and it didn't sound anything like what you hear. The model was there, but Mike's like, okay, let's change the key. Let's do drop D. And we had to transpose it. And then he completely changed Pete's vocal melody, and it became this 5/4 time signature, which is very different, even for just months and months and months. I had to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Otherwise, I would screw it up every time. So that was very interesting, exploring those kind of ideas. Pete can tell you more about that too, as well, from a vocalist standpoint, working with Mike.
Well, working with Mike for me was I really liked working with Mike alone. So I would come in pretty much after hours, get through the day, do a little bit of talking, and get my voice nice and warm. So it would just be me and him in there. And he really got me. He really understood where I was coming from. He knew what I loved. He knew what I was trying to say. We worked on if he had some ideas of maybe what I had lyrically, and he kind of had some suggestions of how about saying it like this, and he would allow me to rewrite it. I always came up with my own words. He wasn't trying to push words on me or rewrite with me, because he was fully invested and believed what I was trying to say and what I was doing. He allowed me to be vulnerable. So I think that there was a lot of it was very easy working with him. It was like working with a brother, and we did it until the songs were right. And there was times where I thought the song was right. I got back to San Diego because that's where I was living at the time. And then I called him up and said, I'm coming back next weekend. I need to retract that. And he would be down. Let's do it. And so it was easy working with him. Even though his records have sold in excess of 150 million albums, and he's the brother-in-law of Bob Rock, he's not intimidating, to work with. And again, everybody has their own kind of like ideas and kind of like what they think the song should be. But his job is to be producer and to be like, okay, how do you feel about this? And if everybody's like in all agreement, great. But if there's somebody that's like, no, I strongly feel this way, he's going to listen to it. And he's always going to go back to what he thinks is better for the song. But there's a lot of compromise. And, it's like a family. It's a family atmosphere. There was arguments, many disagreements, but we got through it, and here we are. So.
Yeah, we're very proud of the record. Very proud of it.
Yeah, it definitely should be. It sounds great. I'm really digging it. How has it been bringing these songs to life on the road. You mentioned, Stacey, you guys just got off the road, a couple of shows out west. You guys are just in Utah. Has it been smooth? Has it been challenging playing these songs live? How has it been working?
It's just it's a blessing, Matt, because it's like, we've all seen like, oh, bands go great albums and you see them live and it's like, it's disappointing. Very blessed that this band brings it live. We sound just like the record. Everybody is super talented, and the songs really go over well live. And I think there's a connection, a personal connection, because we do talk about a lot of very deep subject matter on this record, with a lot of different songs on it. So that's connecting with a lot of people, but it's a very fun band to watch too, because Pete's energy as a front man, he just has, all these things. He's Michael Hutchence, he's Scott Weiland, he's David Bowie.
I'm Peter Summit.
You're Peter Summit.
Yeah.
So, Pete channels all these really cool things, but he has his own thing as well. And, it as me as a guitar player being on the left side of Pete, it's very cool to watch the reaction from fans. And I saw it in Saturday night in Salt Lake City, and there was these girls were just, they were fixated on, they couldn't take their eyes off of it. And I'm like, yes, there it is.
Rock star.
Yeah. And Pete's just willing to bend his body in 50 different ways. He'll wipe out. He just is 110%. And that's really exciting to me, because I feel that's something we've lost with a lot of bands. It's like, where's that rock star from? I haven't seen that since I went and saw the Struts 3 years ago with Luke Strutt. And I'm like, there, that guy has it. That guy's a rock star. So Pete brings that element, and it just gels with everything that we've got going on, visually and sound wise as a band too. And then you add the songs from the record are super strong. So, we feel blessed that we can bring all those elements live.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's tough. Like, I feel, and I've seen this talked about, in media and online and stuff, the last maybe 5-10 years or so. Like, there's not much danger, in rock and roll anymore. And obviously, physical danger is something that has become, very prevalent at concerts and festivals. And, we can't have people just getting hurt. But I think more dangerous in terms of the artistry. Like, you don't really know what to expect. Like, is this guy going to, jump into the pit? Is he going to climb up the side scaffold? Like, what's going on? And yeah, it sounds like you guys are just trying to, bring back that mental danger of like, what's going to happen next? What is he going to do, to, the live shows, and obviously keeping everybody safe.
Yeah,
while going about it.
Remember us, and then that's really coming across. People just come up to us after, like, holy shit, where did you guys come from? Wow. So that's a reward, hearing that from several people after we play. It's awesome. I mean, I love this band. I love everything about it. So
I know personally, for me, I want to give people their money's worth. I want them to leave their troubles at the door. I want them to be, in most cases, especially when we're on the road, not necessarily when we're here in Vegas, but even still Vegas, because we're growing, we got 2 million people here. So we're just starting to scratch the surface on reaching people. But especially when we're on the road, a lot of people aren't going to know who we are, in a venue possibly. But I guarantee that we're going to connect with every single person there and give them their money's worth, whether they love us or hate us. I've had, going back to the last Salt Lake City show, I had a guy that says, I hate rock and roll. I hate what you guys do, but I love you. And you convinced me. And I mean, I gave the guy a hug. He bought me a shot. It was just like,
there you go.
That's what it's like. I kind of been saying lately, it's like going and seeing Iggy Pop or Iggy Pop and the Stooges. That's what you're getting. You're not going to just It's not us standing around and just going through the songs. It's like, we're going to convince you that this is the next thing. We are the next thing. That's, and we want people to feel kind of like, energized and feel like they don't have no worries after they leave our show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was hyped up before this. Now I'm like really freaking hyped up. So what's the deal? Do we have more tour dates coming? Or is there anything in the works? East Coast, perhaps? I hope.
I'm hoping so. I think probably starting in fall, we're going to start really pushing it hard. Right now we have kind of like a little lull right now because we're working on some new music, some new alternate versions with a new single and some videos. So coming
Very
this
cool.
fall, this album is going to carry us through 2024 for sure. And we have some really cool ideas of how we're going to work the next releases and have them as kind of like a package within the album, and going back to the conceptual and kind of like outside the box artistic, kind of like deliveries within the album.
Yeah.
So
the label's putting out a vinyl version of Listen as well. So we're excited to release that in the fall as well.
A lot of people are going to be stoked about that. We talked about it earlier. It's coming back. It is back. It is
back.
Go back.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's going to be cool. I'll be on the lookout for that, as I'm sure a lot of people will be as well.
But we have CDs too.
Yeah.
You don't need a player, find one.
Yeah.
CD. Yeah. Everything. It's crazy. CDs. I was just reading an article. I don't know where it was. Ultimate Guitar, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they said, they were like, CDs are back. They're like, you have something to look at, but it's not quite as cumbersome as a vinyl. And that's why, they're selling again. And it's crazy. They're telling people, all the 80s and 90s folks, they're like, don't throw them away just yet. You hang on to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
we have a good handful of them at the last show too. So that's really cool,
Yeah.
I mean,
and the label really did a nice job on the CDs too, Matt. There's like the huge eight-page spread. Oh, see there.
There we go.
There it is. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to hang out. This was really cool. Stoked for everything that you guys have going on. And I'm especially excited for some East Coast states, hopefully in the fall. Just like, don't make me wait till November. Like, come on, we need you out here. Let's go. It's nice and cool. It is beautiful out here. The foliage. Come on, just come.
Yeah. We'll work on it. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Oh yeah. Crashing Wayward, ladies and gentlemen. The new album Listen is out now. Vinyl version's coming soon, but right for now you can stream it. They have CDs available, and more live dates.
iTunes, yep.
Yeah, more live dates coming soon.
Also on Spotify and Instagram and Facebook.
Follow. We will have links for you guys right down here at the bottom of this. So go click, check them out. It is worth it. I'm telling you.
Thank you, Matt.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Rock on.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. Cheers.